Okay, after doing an engine swap on our 4Runner, 91 4Runner with a 3VZE engine, Frankenstein engine, I was mix matching parts, and I used one of these, I think it's called a heater bypass pipe, on the engine we put in the 4Runner. Well, I didn't bother to check, but I had a problem with this, and I'll explain it. I actually had two problems that were two separate issues. First problem was the temperature gauge wouldn't come up. Normally the temperature gauge on that 4Runner comes up to the middle and stays there within maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And the other problem was the RPM. We would drive this thing around the neighborhood 10 or 15 minutes, come back, and the thing's still idling at like 1400 RPM, which is way too high. It's supposed to be like 800 or 900. And what I found was on the temperature gauge. Okay, let me grab this hose over here. On this temperature gauge, you have this little manifold that sits back here. So I don't have an example right now, but you have 3 or 4 sensors back here, and you have a nipple, so coolant can circulate out of that little manifold and then run back to the engine or towards the water pump. What I found was when I took this hose off while it was still in the car, and coolant was coming out of the nipple on the little manifold, but this guy was 100% clogged. I took compressed air with a rubber tip nozzle, pointed it on there, and pressurized it, and nothing came through. I had the radiator cap off. Nothing would blow through there. So I took a piece of was this 1/8 inch? Okay, so I took a piece of 1/8 inch wire cable and some vinyl tubing, for like air brakes or something, and I snuck and attached it to my cordless drill. Snuck the cable in there and started spinning. And this is a bad example right here. Oh, it's not working right now. But I had this thing fishing here like a snake, like a plumbing snake, until it ran through this chunk of rust. And once I cleared this one up, temperature gauge started working. And I knew it was flowing because water started coming out of here, or coolant, started coming out of here. So then I wanted to figure out the high idle, because it was still idling high. It was the exact same problem on this one. I had to snake this one out with the wire cable and run the wire cable through here, unclog it, and then coolant would circulate through the throttle, warm up the little idle wax little something valve in there, and then now the idles come down to about 850 or so when the engine's warmed up. So that was we had the same issue for both of these pipes, but with two separate problems. This one solved the temperature gauge, and this one solved the high idle. And that's for a Toyota 3VZE 88 through 95 pickups and 4Runners and some T100s, I think.